Hello and welcome to another Find a Sound video. In this video, I will be walking you through Find a Sound's new release, Desert Beats 2. The library requires a full version of Kontakt 6.22 or higher to run. Desert Beats 2 is a loop-based library that features percussive beats and grooves used in Middle Eastern music, but they fit any style depending on what you are trying to do. The library has 2 patches loaded with 100 styles, including 24 variations of each. The loops included have different tempos, flavors, and time signatures. The name, tempo, and time signature of a loop is indicated on the main style menu on the interface that allows you to select the main style and play the available 24 variations of the selected style. Beside the main style menu, you will find 2 arrows left and right that can be used for fast browsing, previewing of next and previous styles. To understand the instrument, let's first explain its key switches system. The instrument has 4 key switch areas laid out on the keyboard with different colors. The first one is the tune key switches indicated with green color. It enables you to basically tune the selected groove to a certain key. Once a tuning key is selected, the active tuning key will be indicated in magenta color on the keyboard. The name of the tuning note will appear in the tune menu, placed above the tuning key switches. In addition, you can use the tuning menu to select a minus octave for the available tuning keys. Here is an example. The second key switches are the style variations indicated in red. They are used to select a variation of the main style selected. The active variation will be indicated in turquoise color. The number of the selected variation will show up on the variation menu above the key switches. The menu will also show the active slice key. You can select variations using key switches or variation menu. The same goes for tuning. In this example, I will play all available 24 variations of the selected main style, Bandari 2, in sequence. The third key switches are the slices indicated in blue. It will play slices of the selective active variation in sequence. The active slice is indicated in red. Those key switches can be used to play a loop from a specific position, like playing the loop starting from the middle, for instance. Here is an example. It can also be used to play single slices to make your own beats. All you have to do is to disable the loop switch. Here is an example. To enable full-length slice playback, just enable the one-shot switch, or the slice length is controlled by releasing the key on the keyboard. You can play 2 or more slice sequences at the same time. All you have to do is set the mono switch to off, while the loop mode is on, of course. Here is an example. Selecting a variation key switch will automatically set the mono switch back to on. It's also worth mentioning that you can drag the slices sequence of the selected variation to your DAW as a MIDI file. You can use the Drag MIDI to the DAW button located at the top of the last slice of each loop. The 4th key switches are the main style key switches, indicated in yellow. The selected main style will be indicated in turquoise color on the keyboard, while the name of the style will show on the main style menu. The main style menu includes style name, time signature, and the beats per minute. Let's move to the tabs area. The first tab is the Slice tab that allows you to change or replace individual slices. The number of the variation where the selected slice is borrowed from will show above the Slice tab. Here is an example of how the original variation sounds. And here it is when I change slice parameters. The second tab is the Tune tab, where you can edit the tuning of each slice separately, up to 12 semitones and down to 12 semitones. The value readout of tuning will show on top of the Tune tab. The third tab is the Volume tab, where you can adjust the volume of each slice separately. You can adjust by attenuating, and of course the value readout will show on top of Volume tab. The fourth tab is the Attack tab that allows you to edit attack time of each slice, from 0 milliseconds up to 999 milliseconds. The default value of Attack tab is 0. The fifth tab is the Stretch tab that is disabled by default. You can enable it by turning the stretch switch on. It enables you to stretch each slice separately, starting from 0% and ending with 200%. It is very useful when you are not playing loops at their original tempo. The sixth tab is the Pan tab that allows you to pan each slice separately. Now let's move to the switches. The first switch is the loop switch that enables loop playback mode as mentioned earlier. Disabling it will allow you to play individual slices. When loop mode is off, enabling the one-shot switch allows the full-length playback of each slice. Next, we have the stretch switch, which allows the stretch mode as mentioned earlier. Then we have the preview switch that allows real-time audit of the selected slice. Then we have the mono switch that enables one sequence to be played at a time. You can play 2 or more slice sequences at the same time when disabling it. Then the one-shot that we explained earlier. Then the random switch that randomizes parameters values. Here is an example of how randomization of the same variation slices will give you a different variation of the same loop each time you play it. Then the zigzag function that sets the first slice to its maximum value and the next slice to its minimum and so on, which creates a zigzag-like formation of the table values. And finally, the reset table switch that resets the table to its default value for all slices, depending on the tab selected. Moreover, when editing the table parameters with your mouse, holding Ctrl+Click on Windows or Command+Click on Mac will reset the slice perimeter to its default value. When editing the table parameters with your mouse, holding Alt+Click on Windows and Option+Click on Mac will allow you to adjust the perimeter of the selected slice whilst moving the rest of slices' parameters values by the same amount respectively. When editing the table parameters, mono and one-shot switches are set to on automatically. Next, we have the random and reverse tabs that are located above and below the wave display. Their functions are basically to randomize and reverse the selected slice. Holding Alt+Click on Windows and Option+Click on Mac will inverse the selection. Then we have the Feel menu that includes 5 fields plus the original feel that the sample was recorded in. The Feel menu is experimental, and not all the loops will give the same results, since not all samples have the same sample length, nor they have the same number of slices. In this example, I will play the original feel of the sample, then we'll play the available 5 feels. Next, we have the Speed menu that allows you to play the sample in double or half the original speed. Desert Beats 2 has a neat autosave preset system, meaning that all edits you do on the interface is saved for the selected variation for all available styles. To understand this, I will select a style and reverse the first slice, and set its speed to half, and select another style and change its tuning and randomize the slices. You will notice that when I go back to the first style variation, all my edits are automatically saved for me. To reset the selected variation edits to default, use the reset switch, and to reset the whole instrument to its default value, use the default switch. When I say edit, I mean all editable parameters on the interface including tune, pan, feel and speed, etc. Next, we have the effects rack that includes modulator with 3 effects, chorus, flanger and phaser, a compressor, an equalizer with a filter, drive, convolution reverb with more than 100 IRs included, a delay, and finally an amp and cabinet simulators. In this video, I'm not going to be talking about the effects rack, but it's worth mentioning that all parameters on the effects rack, including the on-off switches, are fully automatable through the Learn MIDI function that's built in within Kontakt. Here's an example of controlling the cutoff frequency via MIDI. Thank you for watching, and see you soon in another video.